Hello, welcome, everybody. Welcome once again to the craziest, most exciting show on the interwebs. Welcome to the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan, the only show that takes a live look at Kamen Rider Zets and asks the big questions as to where the story's going. I'm, of course, your host with the most, your mercenary with the kicks from 2286, Call Sign Henshin. Hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. I've had a really good week. I'm actually feeling hyped. I'm feeling excited. Things are moving in a positive direction for yours truly this month, so I could not be happier. And to compound it all off, we could very well see Phantom die this episode. So there's that. The question, though, is what happens after, right? Clearly, and how does Nox get his powers back? Those are the two big questions that demand answers. How does Nox get his belt back when it's been deactivated? How does he get it working again? These are the million-dollar questions we must ask ourselves. These are the things that keep me up at night. How did it happen? And how does she die? How does Phantom die? Because I'm just trying to think. Okay, Nox literally turned a man into his own confession. What do we do with Phantom? What do we do with that? That guy's crazy, man. He's crazy. As always, I would prefer if you guys go ahead and check out the Tokusatsu feeds to give them the numbers that they need, because obviously I don't need y'all to watch me live. I just need y'all here after the fact, because this show is not so much about the live react, it's about the discussion. It's about just taking apart what we just witnessed and just trying to, piece that together, right? It's all about the discussion. I have the feed, the live react there for posterity purposes, but I would much rather y'all go watch the main show. So if you could please consider doing that as you please, at your own leisure. But we got a lot to look forward to tonight. I am excited. I'm excited because, it's Zets. Of course I'm excited. It's fucking Zets. But there's always that, downer moment that you realize we are literally a month away from this show ending. And that kind of sucks to think about, doesn't it? This has been quite possibly, one of the greatest Kamen Riders of our time. And is done in by the fact that we have to have a new Kamen Rider every year. By that little fact is the reason why it's ending. Dear God, I wish they would let Takahashi make a second season of this shit, let the man run. Give him the pen and let him run free, But unfortunately, it is what it is. We gotta embrace it and only hope that Myth can deliver. But the bar is in heaven right now. I don't know how Myth beats it. I don't know how Myth competes. Zets is the apex, I genuinely feel like it's going to have to triumph, but on a merit other than telling a story, right? Because the way I see it is that Zets has cornered the market on Tokusatsu storytelling. Nothing will top this. So I feel like if Myth wants to compete, it needs to look elsewhere. It needs to figure out what else it can do to cater to the audience, right? I feel like we're not gonna get better storytelling, so maybe focus in on the characters more, or quite possibly focus in more on the action, the fist to fist action. Just focus in on that a little bit, or even if you can't really win in the overarching story development, focus in on backstories. Focus in on evil motivation, on the villain motivations. get into character building. You know, like that could be a good way to get around that. You know, like just instead of like letting the story tell itself, like give us the characters' motivations. Like you could, if you give us that, tell us detailed backstories and stuff like that. I feel like you could get away with, you know, having like the story doesn't really need to be the forefront. As long as like we understand these characters and their motivations. If Myth goes that route and just digs deep into character development, I feel like it could possibly be on par with ZETZ, but I just feel like in terms of storytelling, ZETZ has the market cornered. I feel like it's definitely going to be a case of like, what can we do from here, right? Because at this point, if you're the writer, if you're the next writer for Kamen Rider, you got to be thinking about pushing the envelope because Takahashi literally set that bar extremely high. Like, the bar is at the pearly gates. Like, that's how high up it is, man. Because here's the thing. Never have I watched a Kamen Rider season that, like, hooked me to this degree that I don't know if Myth would be able to live up to it, you know? It's got massive shoes to fill, right? And we as Kamen Rider fans, we'll stick with it because, yeah, man, we're diehards. We're ride or die with the writer. But you know, sometimes you get varying degrees, right? Like Gotchard, a lot of people say is a decent season. I fell off because like the vibe of it felt weird to me, right? Like the overall vibe of that, but there are people who say they liked it. I fell off of Geets, not because Geets was bad, just simply because I missed one too many episodes. I fell off on Hibiki because the 3 episodes in, I knew the whole season was going to be shit. All it took was 3 episodes, and I'm sitting there like, oh no, I'm not sitting through the rest of this. Fuck that. No. But, and then like, Saber I ended up sticking around with because I wanted to see what they would do and how would they handle it in a pandemic world, and I stuck with it and I enjoyed Saber. Ghost was like had something about it. Ghost had something about it that kept me around. Though again, I couldn't name a Ghost moment off the top of my head. And then, of course, like, my GOAT decade, like, dude, like, it was just interesting to see them push the envelope and be different, you know? Like, making do of a bad situation and then trying to turn that into something is literally, like, a do-or-die attitude for Decade. Drive, I think, was really good. Like, I wouldn't put it on ZETZ, but Drive is my second favorite. It's just so good. Right? Like every person has their own different interpretation on if they like this series or not. I couldn't tell you specifically what points it down, but I can honestly tell you ZETZ is the writing. But every series has something different every iteration has something different that categorizes it. Right? Like I said, Decade was that like it was, you know, it had like a lot of circumstances thrown in it and it worked the best way it could. Saber kept me around because I wanted to see how they'd handle the pandemic. Like there are things that like will keep you invested in a show. As to what it will be for Myth, I don't know. But let's not waste any more time. We got 10 seconds left. Time to head to our cinemas, ladies and gentlemen. He did make that come true. God, like, it's crazy to look at that form of Oblivion and hear a child's voice coming out of it. Still, we don't know how he came back. That's the big thing. Hell yeah, brother. And then she awoke, like Sleeping Beauty.
Ohayo. I found you.
Recall the dream, baby.
The dream.
Mute button because copyright. Baku X Nymph. That was already been there since the start, my guy. That is literally how they set up the show when it began. Like, Baku and Nem is couples goals. That was literally the intent when they made these characters. You can't tell me that, like, only now you're getting on that train. You can't tell me that you're only getting on that train right now. Literally, one of my biggest investments in this show, I'm waiting for these two to fucking kiss. That's literally it. Like, come on, man. Outside of me hoping Nem would become a writer, it's literally hoping that Baku and Nem become an item. That's literally it. That's why I kind of say this series kind of has American drama aspects to it. Because literally it's got us, come on, kiss Nem already. Do the thing. Do the do. So it's like, they got us sitting here like, come on, man. Come on. Wombo fuse. No, but seriously, like, we're just waiting for them to, like, become an item, right? I don't know if they're gonna become an item, kind of like how, like, Gaim was at the end, but, like, definitely would be cool to see them, like, still in a relationship after the show and the crossovers. You know what I mean? That'd be amazing. Beautiful, even. Case 46, Resurrect.
確かに僕はあの時現実の僕も消えちゃったんじゃ
俺は変わったんだ
You've changed. How so?
現実を行き来したことでブラックケースに耐えられる体に
He's developed a resistance. He's built a resistance.
だから現実でも消える前に
Oh, okay, that's smart. That's smart. That is super smart.
でももう一度夢に潜入することができなくて現実の世界にいる君を探した
Interesting.
じゃああれは夢じゃなくて現実だったんだ
So she was awake at one point. That was truly her.
リコール・ザ・ドリーム
忘却のナイトメアが覚醒したことで現実の君も目覚めていたとはね
This definitely feels like giving off, like, okay, lone wolf vibe. Right, like, he's a man, like he's a man, like, there's no, society is not there for him anymore.
誰もいない
I don't want to say he's a rebel, but he definitely feels like he's a lone wolf right now.
来ないで
He
ネム。ようやく見つけた。ネム。
And that's how he found her. So she was waking up in real life and going to, and then falling asleep into an illusion. That's crazy, man. Nice. Rider. That's.
ようやく君の夢に潜入することができた。
Just slamming into the ground.
ずっと探してくれてたんだ。
遅くなった。
ごめんなさい。なのに逃げたりして、てっきり悪夢だと勘違いして。
仕方ないよ。夢の世界が現実だという幻影を見せられていたんだから。
Coming to that realization.
君の母親、いやファントムの力でね。ゆっくり休んで落ち着いたら夢の世界へ。
Get some rest. She shouldn't be fucking sleeping right now. I don't think.
思い出さなきゃならないことがたくさんあるんだ。
The problem is Oblivion has her memories, I think. Oh shit!
私のネムを
Yeah, she's gone. She's long gone, dude. See, the question becomes at this point, does Baku separate the lady from Phantom, or is it definitely going to be a case of the lady's going to have to die?
数々の CM にも出演し、国民的タレントとしても愛されたネムさんが心ない犯罪組織に誘拐され、その身代金をクラウドファンディングという形で全国民に。
We're back at Dream 1.
速報です。警察の捜査の結果、ネムさんが現在監禁されている場所が特定されました。
We're back at Dream 1.
こんなのデタラメだよ。
ああ、ファントムが作り上げたフェイクニュースだろうな。
どうしよ
ファントムを倒せば幻影の世界は消えるはずだけど。
Hey, the buddies!
力を持つ私は倒せない。
だったら
Wait, what? What do you do?
出てきませんね、課長。
ああ、被害者の安全を考えると迂闊には動けない。
ええ。
それなら裏をかくまでだ。
君は？
彼女の護衛担当だ。
Wait, I thought they already said he was with the PD.
おい待て。おい、犯人を刺激するな。
南雲課長、少しよろしいですか。
聞いてるのか。
This feels weird.
考えたら
そっちこそ慣れた手つきだな。
Wait, maybe they have some of their memories? Yeet! We swapping guns!
犯じゃない。
何？
Wait, what? Whoa! Wait.
このクス。
He's back, baby!
二人とも思い出したみたいだな。
どういうつもりだ、ゼッツ。
夢の世界はファントムの力によって操られている。幻影にはあんたの力で対抗するしかない。
Interesting.
闇の力なら幻を消せる。
Hey, I was thinking with you, Noggin.
もうコードは存在しない。ナイトメアから人々を守れる力を持っているのは俺たちしかいないんだ。
だが
Wait, where did you get that? Interesting. God, Nem, you should have grabbed that
信
fucker.
じればきっとかな。夢の力があれば。幻影だったあんたもこうして復活できたから。
幻影
God damn that fucking insert. I love it.
とり
Wah,
あえず
wah.
俺たちの夢を。
Where we going, baby? Gotta love it.
ネムを返しなさい。
これがあんたの望んだ夢か。
A confrontation is upon us.
こんなことで本当にネムが幸せになれると思っているのか。
返しなさい。
Oh, she's losing it.
たとえネムが苦しんでいたとしてもか。もう幻影に生きるのはよせ。
そうしなければ、あの子はオブリビオンに体を奪われてこの世界から消えていた。あの子の幸せを邪魔しているのはあなたたちよ。
Oh yeah, she's psychotic. She's psychotic.
人には夢を叶える力がある。ネムは現実の世界で幸せになるべきだ。
黙れ。
Full rise. Hell yeah.
I'm on it.
So when does Nox get here?
変身。
Rider. Oh yeah, we're going cinematic with this. Absolute cinema, baby.
室内はこんな感じでした。課長、なんだその格好。
本当の首謀者を突き止めた。
手がかりを見つけたのか。
でかしたぞ。でかしすぎる。落ち着きました。落ち着きました。
懐かしいな。高度な闇さえ知らなければこんな生活が続いてたんだろうな。
高度の闇。おい、何の話だ。
Wait, what is he trying to do?
俺たちの夢を。
すべての元凶はナイトメアだ。
なんだそれ。
Wait, he's re-triggering.
悪夢を見せる怪物。
いるわけねえだろそんなもん。
じゃあかけるか。もし実在したら一杯おごりで。
Wow, we've gone full circle with this bullshit.
一杯と言わず一生おごってやるよ。
許すわけにはいかない。人の夢で好き勝手に暴れるナイトメアを。
Reawaken, my guy, reawaken. Oh, some Ganondorf link action with the reflect. Stay down. Punish. You're clearly daydreaming.
私はここにはいないな。
おい、どこへ行く気だ。
ネムを連れ戻す。
賭けは俺の勝ちだな。
He's back, baby! Nox Driver!
ナイトメアは俺が止める。
Shadow! Da-ni-ni-ni. The light to the dark, baby. There's a good giveaway! All these illusions have no shadows! Come on, man! In darkness, we are no one. That goes hard, dude. Wait, what?
私を闇に引きずり込む気か
Not drag you, throw you.
任せたぞ。ZEZTZ。
Wait, what? Huh?
さよなら
Huh?
次回仮面ライダー Z
小高さん目覚めるつもりがないのかもしれない。
私が生まれたせいでこんな悪夢に
お前が消したものは俺が取り戻す。消えろ Z。
Oh, damn.
俺はよろ
All right, we need. Let's take a moment. Let's all take a moment. Because I think we need to take a moment. Holy shiznit. Holy. So, we're just left on this trippy ending that, like, God, Nox is still suicidal, isn't he? Like, there's something wrong. There's been something wrong with him for a hot minute. Like, he immediately after he defeated Code, he immediately kind of came directionless, right? He kind of didn't know where he liked. Like, he felt like he didn't need to do anything else. So, in essence, by bringing him back and doing that, he's like, okay, guess I'll find another way to fucking disappear. And he did that by taking Phantom with him to the Shadow Realm. Almost in the literal sense, the Shadow Realm. Though, that was kind of weird. I was kind of expecting Phantom to go out, like, legitimately go out. Like, I wasn't expecting to end on a cliffhanger where we don't know what the fuck happened to her. How you doing, Dane? Like, I wasn't expecting the show to end on that kind of note. Do I play Yu-Gi-Oh? I dabbled. But I dabbled in Master Duel before Master Duel went to shit. I mean, to be fair, it was already shitty when it started, but it's gotten, like, worse over the years. Too many tryhards and sweats, but I digress. So yeah, like, Nox literally dragged Phantom / the lady to the Shadow Realm. So, say that they're like, I think like the lady is a lost cause, if I'm being perfectly honest. She's already broken down into a psychosis, right? Like, you could see her psychosis getting worse and worse, yet to the point that, like, I'm convinced that Phantom is the one that is more in control. Right? Because in her own twisted psyche, Phantom's way of protecting them, like, makes too much sense to her because, like, she doesn't know any better. Like, she's not in her right mind. So, to see that, like, for all intents and purposes, seeing that, and just seeing, like, the body language, like, they might be too bonded to escape. Because here's the thing. When you think about it, like, if we go back to Zeeg for a hot minute, Zeeg only was merged with Judgment because they were in sync. The minute that they were misaligned in their beliefs, that's when Punish was able to, like, separate. So but here's the problem, and this is why I think, like, you can't separate them as it is right now. Where was Zeke? Oh no, Zeke's gone, like, gone. Because here's the thing. If we're going by what we saw in this episode to work, there would need to be an illusion version of Zeke, and so far we haven't seen one. Yeah. Basically what he's doing is reviving her Mem's memories by like using X Dream on versions of the illusion. Maybe using Baku, but that's a stretch. Here's the thing. Baku somehow has resistance and is able to still remember everything. So, in a sense, he is kind of like... How do I put this? Like, the best way I can describe it is that, like, there needs to be at least an inkling of something. There are versions of Fujimi and Nagumo in the illusion. And from there, Extreme is able to, like, revitalize those memories. But if there's no illusion of Zeke in that illusion, there's nothing for Extreme to work with to restore Nem's memories of Zeke. And by the looks of it, Illusion, aka the Phantom, aka the lady, does not think that highly of Zeke either, so literally did not make it a point to make a illusion version of him. To be fair, Zeke did say that as long as they think of bad dreams, he can come back, so maybe. The thing is, right now, like, I feel like the only way Zeke could come back, and it is to your credit, Z Alpha, that, like, I feel like the only person who would remotely remember Zeke is Baku. Because Zeke was, like, the number one, like, what's the word? Like, that he was like that itch you can't scratch. You know, like, he was just a little annoyance. Right? Just a true, like, straight on, just that annoyance you can never get rid of. And it's true that, like, right now, Baku is probably the best version of himself that he can be. Well, that doesn't mean... So that would mean, like, in order for Zeke to come back, there needs to be a momentary lapse in Baku's judgment. In Baku's, like, steadfastness. There needs to be a momentary lapse, and that's when I can see Zeke coming back. But in terms of outright, unless that's the case, there really is no way to bring Zeke back. Like, he has been fully forgotten. No inkling of him has been left. So unless they go that route to bring him back, he might not be coming back. And as far as I know, like, I've looked around, I haven't seen a picture of him holding flowers yet, so I don't think he's done. I think he will make one more appearance. What that means, though, I don't know. I will say, though, that, like, I feel like if he were to come back... Actually, I don't even know what they do with him. I feel like they gave him a proper ending. Like, I feel like there's really no need to bring him back in the story. Not to mention we only have 5 episodes, so, like, there's really no point in bringing him back. There's really no point in bringing him back if he really doesn't contribute anything to the story anymore. Right? Like, I feel like the only way Zeke could come back is if just so we can get the Dawn Blades back and maybe give them to Nem or something. But, like, I genuinely do not see... I genuinely don't see how to bring him back, where he would fit in. I feel like his job is done. Right? At this point, I feel like if you bring him back, it's for the V cinemas. There's definitely got to be a Kamen Rider Dawn V cinema. There's definitely going to be one. But in terms of, like... something to do in the last 5 episodes of this show, The only way I could see him come back is if pretty much Baku wins and everything is restored back. He'll just have a funny one-off appearance at the end of the final episode. He'll just be a freaking... Oh yeah, this is episode 46. So when Baku wins, it's more than likely like Zeke will just have a funny one-off cameo at the end, and that's all last we think of it. He's not going to be involved in the final battle. I feel like that is... I feel like that's literally the only way you can go about it. Like he's there for the funny. Because that's what his character is now. Like it had its moment, but now he's a comic relief character. Like Z got his moment, now he's comic relief. So like I feel like the true way that you bring him back is just to have him be a annoying little shit. Think triple rider kick. I mean that would be cool, but let's be honest, we only have 4 episodes left. And it would require, 1, Oblivion dying first. And 2, it would require Baku to figure out what the fuck Nox did. I don't know if that's going to get resolved right away, but definitely it feels like we are on the verge of Oblivion biting the dust. This is Bite the Dusto. Bite the Dusto. So, like, I really don't... Like, right now, I feel like we really can't set up a triple, like, team-up because, like, at this point, we've been kind of... We're down to the wire. So I don't know, like, how... the only way it would make sense to me is if Oblivion dies in the next 2 episodes. Right? Which would mean that he would die in episode 48. Which leaves... literally 2 more episodes where we deal with how Nox dealt with Phantom. Because that's literally the only way I can see it. Because I don't know, how do you stretch out Oblivion for 4 more episodes? Right? Like, Oblivion probably should be saved for the last 2. But we're already facing off against him. So I feel like he's only going to last 2 episodes. And then, like, the last 2 episodes are literally dealing with Phantom. Still wondering what the conclusion is going to be. I'm wondering, too. That's why I'm, like, sitting here, like, I'm thinking, like, it's weird that, like, they didn't kill her outright. Because if they did, I could have easily seen the next 3 episodes being an arc. Where Oblivion dies. And then episode 50 is the aftermath. Right? But now you've kind of given us this non-ending to Phantom. You've kind of given us this non-ending to Phantom. And the preview already shows that Oblivion is the next target, which leads me to believe that Phantom will truly be the end of all. Not all evil, but the end of, like, all nightmares as we know it. I don't know how that'll be. I mean, because here's the thing. At the same time, the preview is also clearly noting that they're aware of what Odaka's trying to do. But Oblivion's already in the picture. So then, like, at that point, you can't really focus down on Odaka's thing. How is Oblivion the root of all nightmares? I mean, to be fair, it's because he possesses power, unlike other nightmares. He possesses Codesomnia. So basically, dream reality is whatever he deems it to be. He can change shit. Which I feel like it's amazing that, like, that hasn't been made more of a thing. Dude has the power because of the fact that Oblivion is still alive is the reason why everyone in the show is still in a collective dreamscape. You know what I mean? Like, unless Oblivion is destroyed, we can't separate the nightmares. We can't separate anything. Right? The problem, though, is that if you kill Oblivion first, Phantom just has so many dreams she can run to. Just so many of them. So, like, if you kill Oblivion, everyone gets back their own individual dreams. But that also gives Phantom, if she manages to escape Odaka's trap, gives her a lot of places she can run to. Okay, so the Alpha, here's the thing. Before the nightmares existed, bad dreams were still a thing. Before the monster, like, just the physical monster manifestation of nightmares will be gone. But people will still have bad dreams. There'll probably be like a big explanation for that, but people will still have bad dreams, but they won't be actual monsters trying to kill them. You feel me? So the way I see it is that I'd actually have to understand how the mice system works, how the monsters in that show work and everything before I can say. Because you know it's all about the big crossover movie. You know. So, like, Zets and mice crossing paths, it would definitely have to be a case of however the monsters work in that show. Maybe, like, one of the monsters has a nightmare and it becomes a monster nightmare. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you go about that. I'm still kind of like wondering what Mice's whole deal is. Mice is the butler to the main character, but he can't henshin until she henshins. Which puts me in a really weird position to think either there's another writer we haven't seen yet, or it's some sort of weird jumping through. Who knows how the fuck they make this work, Hoops. She is the belt. That would be fucking hilarious if it turns out, like, the belt is alive. And it's literally his, like, I don't know what, like, her employer, his employer. Like, she henshins into the belt, and he puts her on, and then henshins into Myth. I feel like it'd be something ridiculous like that. Because as far as I know, there hasn't been any mention of a female writer that she has to become, that she henshins into, and then he can henshin, like some sort of control thing. So, like, the fact that they don't mention it leads me to believe that she herself is the belt. Which, hell of a way to make a main character. You know what I mean? Hell of a way to make a main character. She's there, she pays the butler. But then, like, she henshins into the belt so that he can henshin into Myth. Because I don't know how it works. Unless, of course, like, they explain it like she used to be, like, an experiment for fucking... I forgot the name of the organization. They mentioned it once. I forgot what it was. But, like, I feel like at this point, you gave us a grounded story. You gave us a grounded story as to what Zets was. I feel like you have the right to go batshit insane for Myth. So I feel like they're going to pull some shit. I don't mean that in a negative way. I feel like definitely it's going to be like, we're going balls to the wall here. You know? Like, we are going all the fuck out. Like, I feel like they've earned that right. You feel me? You're still waiting for the trailer. I feel like it's coming. Like, they've already given us a few teasers. Ever since you started watching Rider Hat Live, it hasn't disappointed. Dude, like, and that's the thing. Because I feel like very much so, like, they knew what they were doing when they were catering to the Western audience. Like, they knew for a fact... They know for a fact that, like, they want to appeal to people. They want to appeal to new fans as well as the existing ones. So what do? Try to make something that appeals to the wider audience. And so they approached it like an American drama. This has been very, like, this is literally like if you want to look at Kamen Rider before as a Japanese soap opera, ZETZ is like literally the epitome of a fusion between Japanese and American soap opera. And they nailed it out of the park. They did. Like, we're literally at the conclusion of the series. And, like, the story is just as intense as the story was on day one. They brought it all together. And, like, this is quite possibly the epitome of Kamen Rider storytelling we're going to see in a long time. I'm not saying that mice will be bad. I'm just saying that it's not going to be able to live up to this. You know what I mean? Like, they knocked it clear out of the park with this. And clearly, like, we haven't gotten any confirmation yet. Let me see if, like, if there's, like, any more news. Because, you know, like, people be doing stuff. People be looking at scans and shit. I study books and shit. I wouldn't know. My magic is fiendish, I mean arcane in origin. I study books and shit. I think that's probably the best I'm going to get as a Chuckles voice. I think that's the best I'm going to do. Let me see if anything has been said about Myth yet. I'm going to have to rely on a wiki, but I don't know if I would trust the wiki. Right? Because wikis don't get updated that much. They already they confirmed the music. One shot by the Rampage from Exile Tribe. But as far as more details, okay, so they've announced there's a fourth writer. Fandom Wiki is just bad. Here's the thing, like, at least it gets updated, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's another one, but I don't see it get updated as much. But yeah, there is a fourth writer. I wish I could find, like, a source to this. Okay, that's an IMGUR. Let me see this image. Mice, turtle form, and dat. Oh, okay, so they went off a box. Okay. No, it's not a cup. Hold on. So we can get this in here. It was actual item. It was very much an actual merch item that confirmed this. Again, get this cropped. So yeah, let me make that a little bit bigger for y'all. So this was actually apparently this was already being sold. So these were already sent out to stores in Japan. Like, they've already got the merch. And someone saw this in the back and said, I'm gonna take a picture of this. So if we're going off what we know, Myth is our main guy, but the female character who is going to be like his employer could be Kamen Rider Dat. Which I think is, I don't remember, somebody said it was a rabbit? I don't know if that's the case. So, in order for, if we're going by that logic, then Kamen Rider Dat has to henshin so that Kamen Rider Myth can henshin. That's literally, if I'm applying the logic of what was said. Right? That's what seems to make the most sense to me. Because I don't know how else it works. We would need another trailer to, like, truly, like, understand it. If that makes any sense. But for the most part, it's just kind of interesting. I wish I could, like, look closer at it. Because it does look like there's a little bit of a difference to the Dat belt. Albeit a small one. Oh, no. It's not. It's the same one, but there's an additional item in here. I don't know if that's for the turtle. Yeah. So for Dat, it's the same belt, but it's a variation of. If that makes any sense. Like, I'm looking at this as close as I can. It's there's a slight variation in the front plate of it from what I'm looking at here. It's and at the same time there's like, because like if you look at the mice belt, it's literally like two eyes and then in the middle is the emblem. Yet if you look over to the right in the second frame, it looks a little different. Like it's a bit like there's no emblem on that one, and on top of that, that device is on it. I'm pretty sure that's turtle. Oh no, wait, no, because the main one doesn't have that device. You just slap the egg in it and just like. Pff. But Dat's belt has a device on it. I don't know what that device is, but it locks onto the top, and that's how Dat henshins, I think. Right? Wouldn't I be able to pull out the Myth belt to compare? I have a pretty decent photographic memory, so I know how it acts. Plus, if you remember the first teaser, literally, dude pushed it in and then pushed it down. Like, he literally hit it. He literally pushed it in on all sides. This looks like an attachment that needs to be added to the top, which I think makes the big difference here. Now, what does it mean, right? Fuck if I know. But that's what I'm seeing here, is that there is quite possibly, like, literally, like, Mike doesn't need attachments, he just needs the eggs. But all the other riders either have their own belts or need a special tool to henshin with the Myth belt. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of like how I'm piecing it together in my head. So I'm not entirely certain if that is in fact the case. Like, especially because, like, I feel like if I'm going to go out on a limb here, because I do not see it on what little I can see of Dat. Dat wears the Myth belt on its waist. I'm going to say it's because we don't know if that's going to be the main girl or not. But, like, Dat wears the Myth belt on its waist. So it is definitely different. It looks the same, but then you add that yellow attachment on the top. And then you wear it on the waist instead of over the chest. So, like, Myth is just different. He's built different. I think that's what the show is probably going to try to drive home. That while all these other guys just wear it as, like, the regular waist belt, like, Myth goes against the grain. I don't know if that's literally a story note they're going to hit on, like a plot note, but it's definitely going to be a case of, like, he's going to be the only one doing that shit. It's not going to be, like, the standard for all the other writers. Like, he's just going to be the weirdo. Like, Myth is just going to be the weirdo. Because, like, everyone else is wearing the belt's traditional belt style. Yeah, here's this motherfucker who still wants to be like ZEZTZ. Like, I'm going to put it on the chest. You think ZEZTZ has set up Myth to get at a good start off? Maybe. But again, I feel like it's too early for us to, like, make those kinds of judgment calls. We literally only have a few teasers, and it doesn't really show us, even if Myth is as good. Okay, that's fair. But, like, I feel like right now we still don't have a lot to go off of outside of, like, literally the actors and the producers talking about the show. They're literally telling us these aspects. We don't have visuals to go along with it, so all we can do is guess. So we're kind of like just like, I don't say hanging on by a thread here, more like we're grasping at straws. That's what I meant. We're very much in the literal sense of the word grasping at straws. Because, man, I wish they gave us a little bit more information. You also have a lot more faith in Might than Project Red. Dude, that goes without saying. Like, we don't even need to bring up Project Red, because I feel like Project Red is literally just something done to meet a quota, not done for the love of Toku. It's literally done to literally fill a quota, to put a freaking name on the list, literally just to make sure we get paid. You know? That's what it feels like to me sometimes, you know? It definitely feels like could be better, right? Like, you could have actually put in effort to make this a damn good show, but instead you just said, nah, fuck it, we're coasting by. Yeah, we're just going to collect our paycheck. Here's some bullshit we wrote. Make that into a show. Fuck you. That's literally what it is. Like, I genuinely don't see, like, where else you could really put that. But we very much have little to go off of. If they didn't have Project Red, they wouldn't be able to keep the Sentai time slot. So you think like they're actually just they're keeping the slot warm by just giving us absolute trash? Is that what the thought process is? Because if it is, that is a very shitty thought process. Not from you, but from Toei. Because, like, motherfucker, y'all just could have kept making Sentai. Y'all just could have kept making Sentai. You didn't need to give us this half-ass thing, this half-ass bench warmer. Like, you could have just kept making Sentai. We would have been killed with it. What were they going to lose the slot to? Like, that's another thing. What were they potentially looking at the losing of the slot? Like, who would take that up? Another anime, maybe? I don't fucking know. Because it's like, it's Precure, then it's freaking... Normally it was Precure, then Super Sentai, then Kamen Rider. That's literally how it does. Now it's Precure, then freaking Project Red and Kamen Rider. Who would they have lost that slot to? Right? Like, I don't see where that would have like fucked them over. It wouldn't be unusual for corpos to do that. That's fair, but that still doesn't. If they're literally trying to protect that time slot, who was threatened to replace that slot? Like, who was threatening them to take that TV Asahi's time slot for them to say, actually, we're working on a new thing to replace Super Sentai called Project Red? You know, like, why? Why? It definitely had to be something that would totally, like, eclipse, like, what Super Sentai was and could do damage to Kamen Rider. If it got them to that point where they said, no, we have a new Toku thing called Project Red. We're gonna put it in this slot. Because they definitely put that there to hold the place. But the problem is, if you give us a subpar to horrible show, you'll still lose that time slot, my guy. Like, what are we doing here? Like, at this point, you're just kind of like, just, you're meeting the quota, but, like, the way you're doing it is totally, like, you can still lose it. With how half-assed Project Red is, it kind of feels like that. No, I get you, 100%. But, like, it's definitely... Do we really need to keep making, like, these short Toku shows? Like, is it really what we need? Like, clearly Gavan did not survive having half the amount of episodes of a traditional Toku. And I highly doubt that, like, in terms of, like, fresh Toku, I do not think that Omega Horn is going to move the needle. Like, it has potential. But if we're going off what happened to Gavan, like, I do not see them, like, thriving. I don't see, like, them, like, actually thriving. Right? Because I feel like they're just going to be, like, caught in the same vortex of, we were written by, like, 7 different writers. Each episode was written by a different writer, and they didn't talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely feels like they've they should have just remastered an older series in full. Here's the thing, they know how to do reboots. Like, I will tell you that straight up. They know how to reboot. They literally did a 2014 reboot of Gavan that shows they can do it. So then why didn't they? You know? Like, dear God, my guy, Gavan Infinity was the newest Gavan that was introduced shortly before the original Gavan died. You think this is what Kenji Oba wants Gavan to be remembered like? Fuck no. Fuck no. Hells no. Definitely gonna be like freaking... Gonna be... It's why the street came to my mind. Yeah. Okay, so episode 2 of Omega Horn is still written by Atsuhiro Tomioka, so there it is. So, but he's very much like, just like in Gavan, he wrote the first 3 episodes of Gavan and then just handed it off. So, like, it's the same shit. And if I'm looking at episode 3, let me see if they have info on that. Okay, so he's writing definitely the first 3 episodes. Yeah, that's fair. But, like, again, it's... Unless they actually say, Tomioka, you're writing this entire series? You know, I don't see how it can be good. Right? Like, if they could keep the same guy consistent, if they can look at how Gavan fucked the pooch, and then realize that, hey, if we just keep Tomioka-san writing the whole series to keep it coherent, then we'd have something. But as it stands, like, the minute they hand it to another writer, yeah, you fucked it up. But again, that's not my place to talk, because we're not, like we determined last week, I am not giving my time to a show that will possibly insult my intelligence again, like Gavan Infinity did. So, while we can't talk about it offhand, the fact of the matter is, like, and I'll agree to that, it's a great concept. Gavan Infinity was a great concept. Omega Horn is a great concept. But if you don't have a good damn story to tell us, it's kind of fucked. And as far as I can tell, just looking at, like, what episode 2 is going to be, because obviously, I mean, it's already out, but I'm waiting for the sub. But the thing is like, looking at it now, the fact that they're already got Gavan in there is already very much so like, we shouldn't be looking at these series like their own things anymore. Project Red is not trying to do the Marvel thing. They are literally continuing to tell the story of Gavan through Omega Horn. So, like, at the heart of it all, the guy who benefits the most out of this entire run is fucking Doki Reiji, because he's going to be like the anchor point to everything. I don't know if that means it's going to be good or bad. I don't know what it means, but, like, man. I mean, we can only wait and see on that front. But heading back to ZETZ, man, we're like in our last 4 episodes. And it's crazy. Again, it's crazy to think about that we are on the verge of this series, this great, great series ending. Massively praised by many a Toku fan. I've actually heard of some people who didn't like it, but it's very few. I feel like this has been quite possibly the series with the most approachable and the most accepted by the fans. I genuinely do not see it going any other way, man. But on that note, I think it is time for me to bid you all adieu. So I want to thank you all so much for coming out to another episode of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. I will be back next Saturday for more goodness, for more Kamen Rider reviews and discussions. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're watching live and you haven't subbed yet, sub, because that way you know that you'll get notified on your sub feed when we go live. So please consider it. Please consider. You don't have to click no bell and nothing. Just hit the sub button. And then check in every Saturday afternoon for the live stream announcement. It's all good. My Twitch peoples, I'm going to send you over to my boy Puppet Proctor, who's doing a little bit of a collabski. So show him that cool love in that cool henshin hero way that you do. On YouTube, y'all just going to be treated to a black screen, so don't even worry about it. But on both platforms, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you guys had a lovely time spending time with me. I will see you guys next Saturday for another edition of the Kamen Rider ZEZTZ-udan. I might do something tomorrow. I might not. I'm still thinking about it. I might more than likely not. But if I do something, you will see it on your sub feed, so please sub. And or follow if you're on Twitch. And on that note, my name is Callsign Henshin. You have been the Henshin Heroes. I've been your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks from 2286, reminding you that the future is yours and yours alone to conquer. So conquer it by any means necessary. I love y'all. Stay safe, stay sexy, but overall, stay awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.